All systems go for the Dubai Metro's Green Line. Finance Minister says the banking system of the UAE is in good shape. And tropical storm Talas now Japan's worst in 20 years. This is 7 National News. In our top story this evening, all roads will lead to Dubai Metro's Green Line on Friday, when it will be flagged off by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. According to local reports, the public can ride the new line from Saturday. Officials believe the Green Line will also boost the transport system in the UAE. With the Metro already leading public transport numbers in Dubai, with a daily ridership of 160,000, the new stretch is expected to see 100,000 more people using the Metro. At 23 kilometres, the Green Line is not as long as the Red Line, which spans 52 kilometres, but it goes through the most vital locations of Dubai, connected by 20 stations. Additionally, the Metro is expected to reduce journey time by at least 40% compared to time taken by other modes of transport. A study by global consulting firm Deloitte has revealed that electricity consumption in the GCC between the years 2007 and 2035 is likely to increase at an annual rate of 2.5%. That means GCC residents may soon become the world's biggest electricity spenders, it says in its report entitled Energy on Demand, the Future of GCC Energy Efficiency. One reason is that the population is growing. Kenneth McKellar, partner and energy expert at Deloitte in the Middle East, said that residents in the GCC use more electricity than those in the United States. He did add, however, that he expects an effective demand management of electricity to be key for successful energy balance, and that this is already happening in the region. A recent study by Bait.com revealed that 57% of firms in the UAE will begin hiring new employees during the fourth quarter of this year in preparation for the year ahead. While this is good news for job seekers and employees, recruitment and human resource experts say that the competition is stronger than ever, with companies having a more rigorous hiring process than in the past. Our correspondent Khadija Salih has this report.
While recruitment and human resource specialists expressed optimism for the last quarter of 2011, the opportunities are less than the job applicants. Thus, it is essential for candidates to upgrade their skills to stay ahead of the game, according to Dubai Institute for Human Resource Development, an organization providing training and continuous learning programs to UAE nationals.
Yes, the competition is there. The private sector and semi-private sector will look at the most beneficial person, whether Emirati or expat. But if they are equal, or if the Emirati is better, then the Emirati will get the job in this case. I think they have a better opportunity, but they need to be more aggressive and focused.
Many job vacancies are expected to be generated from the manufacturing, trade, and service sectors. First Select, a recruitment consultancy firm, echoes the same optimism and says SMEs will help generate more needed jobs, though the hiring process nowadays is stringent. Companies are employing psychometric tests as well as exploring the web for information on candidates.
We use LinkedIn very, very much. And we use Twitter, which is another social site, mainly to broadcast our positions. And for candidates who are following us, they'll be the first one to hear about the jobs that we publish. These days, the HR departments are taking more time than before in locating the resources. They have to optimize. They have to look at productivity. They have to look at performance.
Experts say at present, the ratio is 1 job vacancy to 10 applicants, whereas 2 years ago, at least 5 positions were available to a job seeker. Bait.com, a job site with more than 40,000 employers registered, says competition in the job market is also not limited to those with work experience. In fact, they are now seeing a trend more favorable to fresh graduates.
40% of the jobs that are available now are open for fresh grads, as most of the employers in the market, they target fresh or junior graduates because they believe that they can do the job and they are flexible when it comes to salaries. Sectors that are currently hiring, telco, is one of the most active. Banking, engineering are all very active when it comes to hiring. So the career levels, it's open for fresh grads as well as for managerial levels.
Despite the odds in the market, experts say the coming months will be busier. They said the government has already laid a foundation that makes living and working in the UAE attractive for everyone, including the wage protection system and the 3-year investor visa for expatriates, as well as the ongoing training and support for nationals. Right now, it depends on job seekers to step up their game and deliver. Khadija Sali, 7 National News.
August of 2012 could see pictorial warnings on tobacco products across the GCC. According to a local report, Mohammed Badri, Acting Director General of Emirates Standardization and Metrology Authority, stated that the new regulations will see graphic pictures on cigarette packs, which will replace the current written warnings. 5 strong images have been approved for use after the health authorities pre-tested 24 on 128 people. Once the regulations are approved by the Cabinet and published in the official Gazette, it will be mandatory for the tobacco companies to comply with the new rulings within 6 months. Local tobacco companies have already been informed that products that do not follow the new requirements will not be marketed in the country. A campaign to control the rising use of prescription drugs is expected to be implemented by Dubai Police after recent findings revealed that the drugs are being used increasingly for recreational purposes. According to a local report, the campaign will involve the issuance of a smart card to aid victims and will be issued to people who require prescription drugs for medical purposes. Each drug prescribed will be registered on the patient's electronic record, and double prescriptions for the same drug will not be allowed. Major General Abdul Jalil Mahdi, Director of the General Anti-Narcotics Department, said that the main target of the campaign will be school and university students in addition to their parents and teachers. He added that people who report their problem will be exempted from punishment, as the main aim is to treat and rehabilitate them and pursue promoters who sell these drugs. Looking to news abroad, Japanese media on Wednesday reported that tropical storm Talas is being characterized as the nation's worst storm in 20 years, with the number of dead and missing exceeding 100. Talas, which began as a typhoon, first made landfall on Saturday as a tropical storm and swept back out to sea early Sunday morning. While the storm was not as powerful as a typhoon, it lingered for days over the same region, dumping record rain on central and western Japan. The aftermath from Talas has surpassed a typhoon that hit in 2004, which left 98 dead and missing. Talas's aftermath comes as Japan is still recovering from the March earthquake and tsunami. Japanese commentators are calling 2011 the year Japan was brought to its knees by natural disasters. However, officials disagree, saying Japan will prevail. And United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon said today that the world needs to redouble efforts to fight climate change ahead of global talks in Durban. Ban, winding up a visit to Australia and small Pacific nations, including several likely to be swamped by rising sea levels, said critics of climate change science were wrong. Hopes have dimmed for a new global climate pact to replace the Kyoto Protocol, which expires at the end of 2012 after US President Barack Obama and other leaders failed to agree in 2009 on a new deal limiting global warming. Leaders of 193 countries are set to meet for the next annual UN Climate Summit in November in Durban. Ban rejected criticism that little progress had been made so far in several rounds of global climate talks, most recently in Mexico, which he said had delivered climate adaptation measures to protect vulnerable people.
Environmental migrants are starting to reshape the human geography of the planet. This will only increase as sea levels rise and deserts advance. I know once again there are the skeptics, those who say climate change is not real. But the facts are clear. The science has made it plainly clear. Global greenhouse gas is increasing. Millions of people are suffering today from climate change, and climate change is very real.
Up next, Linda Berenger has the day's business news, so stay with us.